Hi, class. So I want to just touch bases with you a little bit here today as an extra little bonus um, to talk a little bit about the upcoming tests that you're having. I'm trying to preemptively answer any concerns or questions some people might have. I know testing online might feel a little bit different to you. It's new to most of us, and even the way it was done, well, every class is going to do it differently, to be quite honest. This is only what's going to work for my class. But even at the end of last semester, things may be different just because last semester was so kind of rushed and unexpected. And so I just want to go over a few tips and suggestions that I have for you, as well as show you a little bit of the test, just so you can kind of be prepared about that. So a couple of test tips that I have for you guys. First is when it comes to the online test, once you start it, you can't stop. So you need to make sure that you're allotting yourself enough time, but you get to pick the time. It's not right when our class is, right? Because class could kind of be any time now. And so you need to pick the best time of day when you're probably at your best, but also think about times when you're not going to be interrupted. That is really tricky if you've got young kids at home right now. I completely understand, but you kind of need to problem solve that ahead of time. So that's why I'm sending this out this week, so you can be thinking about next week and get that all squared away. So if you need to pick the day that you've got somebody else at home with you that can help keep the kids busy and out of the room that you're testing in, or if you need to have somebody come over so they can help your kids while you're taking the test, thinking through some of those situations now will be more helpful to you later. Also make sure, like I said, there is no time limit on the test. I don't want that to be something that's anxiety provoking for people or stressful. So you have the whole week, just like a normal module is open for the week, and you can do your assignments during that whole week. Same for the test. So it'll open up on a Sunday at 5 o'clock and it will close midnight Friday. So again, think about, what day is going to be the best day for me to take this test? When am I not, having to, leave for work really quickly, or when are my kids going to be somewhere else maybe, or, just thinking through your schedule so that you can plan the time for the test. The test is usually between 30 and 40 questions. And so that means that we could have easily completed that test in our class time if we were meeting together in person. And a class time is usually an hour and 15 minutes. So I would feel comfortable giving you that exam for that amount of time, for sure. However, if that feels like it's going to stress you out because that's not enough time, then allot yourself more time. Give yourself 2 hours, give yourself 3 hours. But if you give yourself a half hour and you've got to leave for work, or you're going to be late, or you could lose your job or whatever, like you have to leave, that's not the time to start the test, right? So just think through some of those things. Also make sure that you have a good internet connection. If the test loses internet or freezes up, it sometimes submits, and then you haven't been able to finish and answer all the questions, and it marks them wrong. And that's not a good indicator of actually what you know in the test and for the class. So please make sure that you have a solid internet connection. So again, if that's not something you have all the time at your home, talk to the school about a hotspot. We have resources for you at COS, but if you need to plan to be at a family member or a friend's house to take your exam, coordinate that this week so you're all set to go next week. Also, please do not take your test on your phone. That is absolutely the last resort. Like, every laptop you possibly have available to you is has burst into flames and the only thing you have left is your phone. Okay, then try to use your phone. Otherwise, don't use your phone because the app frequently freezes. It frequently just does weird and wonky things that are unpredictable. We don't know why, but it will submit your test and then you're locked out of it once it submits it. Now, if something like that happens, you can contact me and we'll try to resolve it and get the test opened back up so that you can actually take it. But if you're, on it for an hour and then that happens and you tell me you need to open again, I'm not going to be able to do that, because it just gets too weird because we're not in person. And so I'm having to trust that you just are taking the test like you should. So please just try to be at a computer instead of use your phone. Okay, so we've talked about also finding the best time of day for you. Think about when you're at your best as well. And sometimes when you're at your best and when you have access to the computer and when you're uninterrupted, those might not all quite jive together, which is the frustrating and somewhat difficult part about online classes, is because now everything kind of blends together. When we have a schedule and when we meet in person, we have certain times for certain things, right? But once it's online, it's like, oh, home and school and all of these things are just kind of, blending together. And we don't have our own time for each thing. So just try to focus on figuring that out this week. Okay. I want to go into the test here and just show you a couple things. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, so we go into our test or our class. Here on the home page, we're going to go to modules. And then when we scroll down, we're going to be in module 5. This first test is for chapters 1 through 5. This will actually open up, though, the week of module 6, because I want to make sure that you give chapter 5 its time that it needs. And I don't want you to just kind of blast through it or rush through and not fully learn it just because you're trying to get to the test. So the test is located in module 5, but it's actually going to be open up the next week. Okay, so you go in here to the quiz. Now, the quiz does require a passcode. I will add the passcode to these instructions since it doesn't look like I have it in there right now. But the thing that I'm not sure about is if your test will come, if the instructions will come up at all, or if you have to add the passcode in before you can even see the instructions. Because I've never taken a test on Canvas before. So I'm giving you the passcode right now. I will also put it in to the announcement on Sunday that comes out. I'm gonna add it here. I'm just gonna do it right now so I don't even forget. So the passcode for this test is Hoagland, my last name with a capital H, no spaces, 42, like the number of our class. Okay, Hoagland 42. So that is the passcode. Just save that. So write that down now so you have it. If you can see these instructions when you click on the test, it will be there. And it will also be in the announcements come the Sunday when this opens, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go to a preview of the test and I just wanna show you a couple things. It looks like this test is 31 questions. So just so you know. And I'm gonna scroll down here and just show you what it kind of looks like. So most of your questions are in an audio format. There's just sometimes where it's so much easier for me to do audio because like early morning and I'm not ready to be on video, but I want to get some work done. So these are in audio, except for maybe like one or two where I felt like I needed to kind of demonstrate or show something. But for the most part, I'm really just reading the question just like it is. So if it helps for you to hear me say it or see me say it, then by all means, click the audio or the video link. If you don't need that, then don't click it. It's completely up to you. I am just reading the question now. I'm not elaborating on the questions. I'm not explaining them further. I'm not defining any words in the question. I am only reading the question like it is. So if you choose not to listen to the audio or the video, you're really not missing anything except my voice. But again, if you need that, by all means, please use it. Every question has an audio or a video link. I want to go here to a couple of questions just to show you different types of questions that I have. So like here's one. It says, which of the statements is true about attachment? So that means you're trying to find the question or the answer that is accurate to attachment. The other three will be wrong. That's kind of similar to how most questions are. You're looking for the one right answer. The other three are wrong. But this has that extra word in it. So just make sure that you are aware of that. Also, question 16. So this is kind of the opposite sort of question. It says, which is not an indicator that a child has moved into the stage of autonomy. So what is not an indicator? So that means 3 of those answers are indicators the child has moved into the stage of autonomy. One answer means it's not, the child's not moved into autonomy. Okay, so you're looking for the one answer that's not correct, essentially. So that's kind of opposite of what most questions are like. Let's see down here, the very last question I marked too. Oh, I wanted to just mention too that if there are words that you don't know, like let's say you get to this word intrinsic and you think, I've never heard that word before. I don't know what that means. If we were in class and we were in person and you had a question like that on the test where you're thinking, I don't know what this word means, I need more of an explanation about it. Obviously, I can't be available all the time that you guys might be taking the test that whole week because some of you guys do your work in the middle of the night. I don't even know how anybody is still up, but the times that you submit your work, you guys, like 2 in the morning, I don't even understand because I would be like a zombie. So you don't even want to ask me questions at that time of day anyway. So I'm snoozing, I'm asleep. I cannot help you during that time. So I can't be available at all times when somebody might be taking a test. And again, you have to take the test in one sitting and just get it done. You can't close it out and save it and come back to it later. So if you have a question about a word that you're not sure what it means, copy and paste it into this open another tab on your internet, copy and paste it in there and look it up. Look up the definition or type in definition of intrinsic. And Google will tell you what the definition is. And it will give you synonyms, like words that mean the same thing. And then you could put those words in place here in your mind. And it might help you understand the test question a little bit better. So consider using some of your resources like that so that you are able to feel more successful on the test. Those are things that I would do for you if we were in person and you had a question. I would define a word for you, or I might try to rework the word so that you understood it better. Same can happen if you use a dictionary. Maybe some of you don't have the physical dictionary at hand, so use the computer. Okay. I think that is most of what I wanted to tell you about the test. Again, if you are having any questions that come up after you see this video, you can connect with me in office hours this week. Or you can email me your questions. But I wanted to kind of just give you some tips, and hopefully some of this information is putting you a little bit at ease, and answering some questions that you might have had, or will help you plan for next week when you take the test, just so that you're feeling a little bit more prepared. Okay. Like I said, connect with me in office hours this week, send me an email, and we will connect somehow if you need any other support or have any more questions about the upcoming test. All right, thanks.